My family moved here from Mexico City in 1989. And what I remember about Mexico City was growing up in a place where we didn't have indoor plumbing, we didn't have running water inside the house, and there's no other way to describe it. We were dirt poor. When we moved to New York, I was just amazed by the fact that we had indoor plumbing, and oh, by the way, we had hot water coming in through our pipes. And I remember being a little girl and turning on the water and turning it off, and I just thought to myself, we hit it big. But we were living in a one-bedroom apartment in essentially, poor conditions. But to me, we had it made. We didn't have to go somewhere else to carry our own water to use. We didn't have to go outside to play with mud, or we actually had toys, which may not seem like a big deal, but for a little kid, I didn't realize that I was poor until I moved to the United States. You could eat something aside from eggs every day. That was huge. So I always try to talk to my children about how blessed they are and how amazing our country is, because honestly, I have no idea what my life would have been like. My father was working 2 jobs to try to take care of 3 kids, and he still couldn't, make ends meet. But our country has provided my family with so many opportunities. I couldn't think of a better way to pay our country back than to serve in its military. So I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, about 3 miles away from Fort Hamilton Army Base, and you couldn't help but notice soldiers doing training when you traveled into Manhattan. And I just thought it was so neat, all the soldiers doing their training in the mornings, and I wanted to do something like that. I just thought soldiers were incredibly brave, and I wanted to try it. I attended John Jay College of Criminal Justice, and one day, while walking on Times Square, I saw that big, beautiful flag in the recruiting center. And I walked in and I spoke to a recruiter, and he asked me to come back and see him later on when I had made up my mind, and I came back to see him. And he talked about the ROTC program. I had no idea what ROTC was because I just wanted to join the military. And he suggested that I get a college education while doing ROTC and join the military that way, and the rest was history. I was very proud that I was able to become a part of a larger family. The people in ROTC, the cadets that I went through ROTC with, they were just really great people. Everybody had different talents, everybody had different skills. So I wasn't scared, but I was honored to be serving. And I had friends that I had grown up with in Brooklyn who were already in the military, and I just thought it was my chance to give back. I am humbled every single time I stop and talk to a soldier, no matter what their occupation is. I learn something from them every single day, and I feel like they want to make our Army a better Army. And I've talked to people in the Air Force, I've talked to people in the Navy, and I just feel that with the young men and women who we have in our military, there's just a sense of pride that they choose to volunteer to do what they do every single day, and that my children get to grow up in a free country because of the sacrifices that these guys and gals are making for them. I hope to be a great example for my children as to what hard work looks like, what love of country looks like, what love of family looks like, and in a sense, love of my extended family, that is the South Carolina National Guard. I have had a wonderful career and no regrets being in the military.